What's up, guys? Matt Brown here, Line.com. Let's talk a little Monday Night Football, Bears and the Vikings. And hey, look, this is a pretty interesting game here on Monday night. And so I'm actually looking forward to it. I didn't think that I'd be looking forward to a Bears game all year long, but hey, I'm looking forward to a Bears game here against the Minnesota Vikings. Vikings playoff hopes still alive. So this is a very, very important game for Minnesota in this one, guys. As always, everything we do absolutely free. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button down below. Give us a thumbs up. Let us know in the comment section how you are going to be playing this game as the Bears head on the road as 3-point underdogs to the Vikings. You see this total sitting about 43.5 out there. This total has been pretty wild. If you have been following this game, this one opened up around this number. Then people came in and went kind of bonkers on the total. And if you look, I mean, this thing got as high as 46 and then has just been constantly bet down since it got to that 46 number. I'm sure a lot of it goes into that whole primetime unders thing that everybody has been latching onto. And look, it's been winning a ton. But this number to me might be getting a little too low. I don't have this in my account quite yet, but what I can say is the Bears offense has actually come around a little bit. With Fields back out there, you saw him run a ton. You saw DJ Moore. You've seen a little bit of life from the Bears. And with the Vikings, they're not going to have Justin Jefferson, unfortunately. They're going to wait one more. Well, they get a bye, and then so they're going to wait through the bye and have him come back for the real stretch run there to make sure that he's 100% healthy. If Jefferson was playing, this would have been an over for me for sure. As it sits right now, just a lean towards the over. If people get crazy and this thing gets bet down even more, then I might have to come in with a little piece of that. Because as I said, like this Bears team, if you look at their season-long stats, it's a little deceiving because where they were the first 6 weeks of the season to where they've been over the last 6 weeks of the season is completely different. I mean, this team has looked pretty good, and specifically on the defensive side of the ball, like it's the season-long stats bear out actually. They've been a very tough team to run against all season long, no matter what. Now, you could just throw all over them, and that's still going to have to be the way that Minnesota plays this game, but the pass defense has gotten a little bit better as well along the way. So this defense is not just gutter trash like it was at the beginning of the season. And the offense, kind of the same deal, like season-long statistics, not that great specifically from a passing standpoint. The rushing offense has actually been fairly successful. They've got a good running quarterback now in Fields. They've got a couple of good running backs as well. And so they're kind of coming around. And on the Viking side of things, this defense under the radar has been good all year long, actually. It's a defense that is tough to run against as well. And it's another defense that from a pass standpoint has actually in the secondary has picked up a little bit. And if you look, they still blitz at a crazy rate. It's the number one rate in the NFL. That doesn't always turn to pressure. That's actually bottom half quarterback pressure rate with all of those blitzes. But they have dialed back that some. Like they are not just doing it like they were at one point. They were blitzing 67% of the time, literally 2 out of every 3 plays. But they pulled that back a little bit, and this defense has been pretty good as well. So both of these teams are like, they're like perfectly average, but in an NFL where we have a lot of bad teams right now, like perfectly average, I think is okay. Whenever we take a look at this, so again, kind of a lean towards the over. Might get in the account if it does go down a little bit further. I will scroll down so you can kind of read here. So let's talk about the spread. I put in a Bears plus 3.5. The 3.5 is no longer there. If the 3.5 showed back up, I think that's the only play for me. The hook is vitally important in my personal opinion in this game. I don't know if we'll see another 3.5 come out on the Bears, but I think the spread's about right at 3. It's just Minnesota without Jefferson. If this was Jefferson, I'd be on Minnesota's side because he makes that big of a difference. He's one of the few wide receivers that is legitimately hugely affects the point spread. He's a chain mover, a game breaker, a touchdown maker. He does everything, right? But without him out there and having to rely so heavily on Addison and Hawkinson, I think 3 is about right. Things like this thing just lands on 3 so many times, right? So no play for me on that unless it got to 3.5 again, in which case I would go ahead and get in on the Bears if that were the case. What I will say is there are some interesting prop angles to this game. And so when we look at this game from a prop standpoint, and again, guys, if you don't already do this, please, Lions homepage, right here, player prop tool, click on that. And then you can come here and you can type in anybody's name and it will show you all of the different lines in your state. And so with that, you're making sure that you're always getting the best number. So if we look here, Justin Fields, for me, it's not going to be anything from a passing standpoint. It's going to be from a rushing standpoint. And I like the over on his rushing yards. And I'll tell you why. Because Minnesota blitzes at such a heavy rate that when they're bringing extra guys and if they don't get home, that creates lanes for a guy like Fields, right? And the other thing is even if they do get home, he has such good escapability and elusiveness, and he's probably not going to be the dude that kind of waits till the last second in the pocket and things like that. Like they cut him loose last week, and I kind of think that that's what they're going to do moving forward with Fields. They need to figure out if the full Fields experience is going to be good enough for the Bears to stick with him past this season, because they're likely going to end up with the first pick in the draft because they own Carolina's pick. And so they need the full field experience for the rest of the season to figure out if he's the dude. And the full field's experience is more like the Lamar experience. You need the guy running. You need the guy being mobile. You need like a Josh Allen type deal. You know, Josh Allen's at his best when he's out there running and passing. And I think that that's what they need here with this. And so a couple of different things. There's designed runs for Fields that always happen. There's going to be the RPOs that always happen. And then with the team that blitzes as heavily as Minnesota does, you're going to get times where he feels pressure and just takes off, or they blitz, it doesn't get home, it creates big lanes and he takes off as well. I really like the Fields over rushing prop this week in this game. Another prop that I'm going to look at here. This is a prop that has been very profitable. It's one that people don't look at a ton. And so for me, it's Dobbs, but we're going to pass down. And we're going to pass down. And we're going to pass down. And we're going to stop at the attempts. So I mentioned this. Chicago's defense has been good against the run all season long. And then you get a Minnesota team that doesn't run the ball very well as it is anyway. Their rush offense EPA is 28th in the NFL, right? They just don't run the ball efficiently at all. DVOA rush offense is 28th as well. So a team that doesn't run it well against a team that defends the run very well, surprisingly, you wouldn't believe this. Chicago's rush defense EPA, 4th in the NFL. Rush defense success rate, 3rd in the NFL. DVOA, 11th in the NFL. Like, this is a team that you just, because the defense, I guess, like got such a bad rap at the beginning of the year that you just would not have thought that they were as good as they are against the run. But they are. So here we are with a team that can't run the ball well anyway against a team that defends the run really well. So it's going to be a ton of passing. And so with a ton of passing, we're going to go ahead and play the attempts. And so here's the thing about attempts, which is pretty great, right? As opposed to completions. We don't have to be efficient. And so if we're just abandoning the run here and we're just passing a ton, then we don't have to worry about who's catching it, who's whatever. We just need to keep moving the chains. We just need to keep, if you're incomplete, and then you get a 10-yard reception, doesn't matter, right? We just want the attempts. And so every single time that he throws the ball, we're ticking up here on the passing attempts for Dobbs. And I don't expect this team that doesn't run very well anyway to just, square peg, round hole and sit there and beat it into the middle of the line for, 2 yards a pop. So let's not do that, and let's throw the ball a ton. So Dobbs passing attempts in this one. In the last prop that I like in this game, since we have no Jefferson, I'm going to go Hawkinson. And I'm not going to go with the receiving yards, but I'm going to go with the receptions. And I think we just play the over reception with the alternate receptions here. Because as you can see, this is everybody kind of thinking along our way now. This over has gotten juiced to hell. So let's just play the alt on 6.5 and get some plus money on it. And the deal is with Hawkinson, right? Not only is he the chain mover, but he's also the security blanket for Dobbs. And we've seen that a ton already. And if we think this is a pretty correlated play too, right? If they can't run and we're already playing over on attempts, we know that a ton of those targets are going to go Hawkinson's way anyway, right? If the game plays out like we're saying, if our game script, if our narrative plays out, then this is correlated to us taking the over on attempts to Dobbs, and what we can, be fairly certain he's going to be looking probably at about 10 targets in this game, 10, 11 targets. And so if that's the case, then we feel pretty comfortable taking even the alt over on Hawkinson receptions. So do like that a ton. These are also things that you could put into a same game parlay if you wanted to do that. You could alter these things down a little bit to make you feel a little bit more warm and fuzzy, a little bit more comfortable. You could pull down some of the attempt numbers and the reception numbers and even the rushing numbers on fields and things like that. And, if the game plays out like we think, then, we get a nice little same game parlay as well to come home. Guys, everything we do at the line's absolutely free. Like I said, if it got to 3.5, I'd come back in on the Bears. I think 3 is very appropriate. If this number continues to fall, I know the primetime unders thing. I get it. I'm fully aware. That said, we're in a dome, perfect weather conditions. Fields has looked better. This offense has looked better for the Bears. And even without Jefferson, I think that the Vikings can still have a little bit of success here against what has become a little bit better of a Bears defense as well. So if this number continues to tumble, probably a small piece of me on the over as well in this one. Guys, absolutely free. So head on over here, take advantage of everything. Please use the player prop tool. And up here in the top right-hand corner as well, that is the Discord. Discord absolutely free as well. So anything that we add along the way, we be sure and drop that into the Discord. And of course, conversations with other people who are, betting obsessed just like you are, and talking angles and talking different strategies, and of course talking about the picks that they put in their account as well. Guys, thanks for watching this. Be sure to take advantage of all the free stuff that we do at the lines, and good luck on all your Monday Night Football bets.